Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned Albino undertakes the monumental task of ranking every legendary Pokemon in Pokemon from worst to best. This list does not contain mythicals because I'm told that mythicals are not legendaries, and I plan to do them in a separate video as well as Ultra Beasts. Any legendary that has a form change is going to have that form change probably disregarded because there's too many form changes. Let me judge you based on your default settings before you go trying to show off your wardrobe. Even all that aside, there's still over 50 slots on this list, a few of them are in groups, so we're still going ham in this video and judging them purely by how much I do or don't like them for whatever reasons I feel like. Starting from worst and working our way to best. Number worst, Cosmoem. There is simply no point. In between Cosmog and either Lunala or Solgaleo, you have this gym badge looking thing that weighs 2,200 pounds for absolutely no reason. It's the heaviest Pokemon there is, straight up, and that's cheating because it's 4 inches tall. This isn't a real Pokemon. You can't convince me otherwise. This shiny pebble does not exist. It doesn't move. It can't eat. If it died, would it even notice a difference? Last place. Enjoy it. Number 58, Tapu Bulu. It's just ugly. Some of the Tapus are alright, but this is by far the worst design. It's got horse feet for hands and it stands on a nutsack. I like your Minotaur nose ring. You look like every girl who gets piercings just to feel something. Number 57, Cresselia. They did a better version of this Pokemon in Sun and Moon and put it on the cover. Cresselia is known as the lunar Pokemon, but it should be called the lame Pokemon. Got him. It's a floating tank. Big whoop. Its ability is levitate. Oh, what a banger. If pedophiles had a pride flag, this is the color combination they'd use. Just pale, gross colors that shouldn't be within 100 yards of a playground. Number 56, Cubfu. Look, I like Urshifu as much as the next guy, but this part ain't cute. Its mouth is contorted into the thinnest frown I've ever seen, and with the dots under it becomes its own upside-down smiley face. The Isle of Armor makes you bond with this infantile bear before you can evolve it. Cut to me setting up 8 camps in a row and jamming my Wobbuffet rank curry down its throat till it pops. You can be my friend when you evolve. Until then, I'm faking it. It's like the Karate Kid if Ralph Macchio was 2 feet tall. Also, how are you a legendary Pokemon if every member of the Isle of Armor dojo gets one? There's a whole clan of these things. Somebody check the rarity level on Cubfu, because I think a common is masquerading as a legendary. Number 55, Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. There's hardly a conceptual difference, just 3 aggro weather genies with jagged mustaches who fly around and ruin outdoor birthday parties. You thought you were barbecuing today? Not with these natural disasters around. Sorry guys, the football game's been called on account of a thunder sand tornado. Bring it in. These Pokemon are dicks. Who needs them? Number 52, Calyrex. Derp? Number 51, Glastrier. There's a clear winner between the 2 horses and it ain't this one. If it had any kind of other coloration, it could be okay, but it's stark white and it hurts to look at. Like Cubone, Glastrier also wears the skull of its dead mother, if its mother was the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. Number 50, Regi Gigas. 2 words, slow start. That's its ability. It halves its attack and speed for the first 5 turns it's in the battle, otherwise known as until it gets demolished. What a stupid preemptive nerf for a Pokemon you could have just made slightly less strong. 5 turns is a molasses start. That transcends slow. That's like me trying to get out of bed in the morning, which I'd probably do faster if I started getting attacked. Hit me with 1 move, I'm ready to go. I'm not gonna still be groggy after taking my 3rd flamethrower to the face. At that point, it's probably a symptom of some severe medical issue. Number 49, Eternitus. This thing looks like it was made out of alien origami. It's got nowhere to store internal organs. It's a skeleton with jelly in it, which is disgusting. Its only use is the move Dynamax Cannon, doing double damage to Dynamax Pokemon. But going on a Dynamax raid and throwing out Eternitus is like the biggest cop-out you can pull off. Like, damn, we can tell you're having fun doing raids using the same Pokemon, using the same move 20 times in a row. Number 48, Regice, Regirock, and Registeel. These Pokemon have a cool, mysterious puzzle to them involving Braille letters, which must have been kind of annoying to blind people since you can't feel the bumps through the Game Boy Advance. The game was like, blind people can read Braille digitally, right? And then to add insult to injury, you have to be able to see in order to look up which letters they were, lol. But the Pokemon themselves are whatever. Not very strong, not very cool looking. They look like animatronics minus the anima. My body is ready for the spin-off game called Five Nights at Reggie's. That joke got layers. Regice is my favorite because I like ice types, but they're all meh. Number 45, Uxie. This trio is pretty spread out across the list, and Uxie is my least favorite. It looks old, wrinkled. It's known as the being of knowledge, and the Pokedex entry says that when it flew, people gained the ability to solve problems and the intelligence to improve their quality of life. I like the idea of Uxie just sitting there with some people standing around and then it gets up and flies away and the people are like, damn, I need to get my shit together. It's basically if the Apple of Eden was a Pokemon and tasted a lot grosser. Number 44, Necrozma. When a being of light is drained of all its light, it becomes a being of dark. All I see when I look at this Pokemon's move pool is another Pokemon who isn't Rock type that can learn Power Gem, while Aurorus is still out here with no Power Gem despite being a Rock type with gems in its body. Criminal. Inexcusable oversight. Necrozma's initial form sucks. It's just a glass gremlin with big claws it doesn't need when it shoots laser beams all day. Next. Number 43, Tapu Coco. As much as I like a saw blade haircut, Tapu Coco is weird. It's got these two giant half coconut shells attached to its body. I don't know whether that's for blocking attacks or so it'll never be homeless. I think pincers are a strange choice. Tapu Coco spends its leisure time having thumb wars with Krabby. Number 42, Latios. One of them is cool, and the other one is Latios. Another Pokemon with Levitate as an ability instead of something worthwhile. I understand Levitate, and the flying type in general, making a move like Earthquake miss, but you should still be getting hit by mud shots and sand tombs, so this whole situation is flimsy at best. Latios is too friendly. Every other legendary has this standoffish, unapproachable aura befitting of their station, but Latios is just like, hey, wanna come out and play? That's a mythical Pokemon attitude. Latios ain't cut out for this legendary stuff. Number 41, Palkia. It's one of the uglier dragons. We all know it. Look at that pale, deep purple on a pearl-colored background. Look at those glistening shoulders. I bet this water dragon type knows Power Gem too. Justice for Aurorus, damn it! Palkia suffers from combustion syndrome in that its round shoulders and long neck head look like a legendary penis. No wonder it's water type. I'll never look at it the same way again. Number 40, Tapufini. A water type known as the land spirit Pokemon? Alright. The Dex entry says that although it's called a guardian deity, terrible calamities sometimes befall those who approach it recklessly. Sounds super not worth it to me. If you want help or guidance, look elsewhere. Otherwise you might get leprosy and erectile dysfunction at the same time. Number 39, Mesprit. Basically the Powerpuff Girls of Pokemon, Mesprit is definitely Blossom. The Pokedex calls this one the being of emotions, and that when it flew, people learned how to feel things. Really seems like this trio was responsible for kickstarting our evolution, but why us? How come wombats didn't start crying when Mesprit flew? Why didn't cows develop a sense of humor? Probably because they needed to keep the regular animals as emotionless sources of food so people didn't feel bad for eating them, because if you watch the anime, you'll see them eat meat products and fish and stuff that aren't from Pokemon. I'm not sure where the lore landed on that officially, but if they don't have barbecue pork chops, they're missing out. Number 38, Zygarde. Since we're only doing initial form, Zygarde is nothing to talk about. It's a snake with a fondness for hexagons. They called its final form the complete form instead of the 100% perfect form, but they're not fooling anyone. It's Cell from Dragon Ball Z. From the green and black color to the different forms to the association with cells, I'm just wondering where the Krillin form is. Number 37, Regi Gigas. The new Regis introduced in the Crown Tundra Sword and Shield DLC are a little more interesting. Regi Gigas is the single fastest Pokemon in the entire game, with a base speed of 200, aka can't touch this. Ninjask could be like, slow down! It's mobile, active, bouncing around, not what you expect from a Regi Pokemon. It's a weirdo in a good way, and we're officially into the part of the ranking where I at least sort of like every Pokemon from here on out. Number 36, Cosmog. At least this one's cute and is around for a while. I looked up where to find Cosmog and the answer was Bag. It only learns 2 moves, Splash and Teleport, which is like Abra and Magikarp had a doubly useless baby. Cosmog is basically a galactic fart Pokemon, but it's got a neat design. Number 35, Verizon. I hate Verizon. The wireless service sucks and I get no bars at all. As much as I like Gen 5, it's got way too many legendaries in it. Are they even legendary still if there's enough of them to be in the nonary games? Verizon is called the Grassland Pokemon. Wow, good one. Number 34, Cobalian. The Iron Will Pokemon, now we're talking. Give me some personifications. Give me some metaphors. People mistakenly thought Lucario was a legendary so often that Game Freak decided they better make a real steel fighting legendary in the next gen, and they did, and it's not bad. Its horns might look like misshapen crescent rolls, and its one little whisker line drawn on its face is weird, but I like Cobalian's beard. Number 33, Heatran. I think Heatran is an alright legendary. I like absorption abilities like Flash Fire on Pokemon that don't already resist the type in question. So being Fire Steel, Heatran is neutral to fire attacks, but with Flash Fire becomes immune and gets more benefit from that defensively than like a Flareon would. But yeah, he's got a fierce little face. He'd be kinda cute if he was small. Number 32, Kirim. One of the more monstrous dragons, Kirim is known as the boundary Pokemon, which means if you try and go too far with it, it will let you know. If you're with someone and they're asking you for something you don't want to do, channel your inner Kirim and be like, that makes me uncomfortable, while you deep freeze them solid and shatter their icy remains into a million frozen crystals. Its body is also frozen, so I guess it started pushing its own boundaries too hard, which can happen. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you don't even recognize yourself. Like, what have you become? So you drive to the nearest cryonics lab, volunteer yourself for storage, and see if you're a different person after 100 years. Number 31, Reggie Drago. Reggie Drago is basically the Wailord of dragon types, with 200 base HP and a signature move that gets stronger the more health you have. The Shield Pokédex entry states that Reggie Drago is said to have the powers of every dragon Pokemon. Oh, so it can use Dragon Claw, and Dragon Breath, and Dragon Dance? Wow, that's crazy. Its arms are shaped like dragon jaws, but if it can't do a Donkey Kong forward smash and give people a toothy clap, I don't want it. Number 30, Tarakion. Tarakion is the best of its trio because it's actually strong in addition to being fast. While its incredibly human-looking face is a little disconcerting, Tarakion is a big buff man with striped abs and a body that just won't quit, not to mention those form-fitting sandals. Put him on the cover of whatever a men's magazine is and watch him emasculate every subscriber. Number 29, Solgaleo. Damn, maybe I take it back. You see the calf muscles on this thing? Solgaleo does not skip leg day. I don't know why its feet are hockey pucks, but we can gloss over that. The transition from Cosmog to Solgaleo is super jarring, because it's like only the top half of his face retains any of that cosmic coloration. They kept his forehead and then just made a white lion out of it. He is a beast, though. Number 28, Tapulele. Uh-oh, waifu bait? Just kidding. The Pokédex says Tapulele is guilelessly cruel, which means it's not even intelligent, it's just an asshole. These Guardians don't seem very Guardian-y. The Dex entries for all of them are like, despite being called Guardians, sometimes these Pokemon will rip babies from their mother's arms and throw them into a ravine. Number 27, Ho-Oh. Dumb name. Don't care. Ho-Oh is a dumbass name. Is your name Ho-Ho? No, it's Ho-Oh. Get it right. I looked it up and the name is based on the Chinese word for a Chinese phoenix, which is spelled H-O-O, with some lines above the O's, and I believe it's pronounced something like, Whoa, China! I could be wrong. It's said to reveal itself before a pure-hearted and good-natured trainer, so based on that last joke, I think I just got scratched off the list. Number 26, Lugia. Lugia beats Ho-Oh simply for not having the name Ho-Oh. Otherwise, I prefer Ho-Oh's design and the fact that it doesn't have hands for wings. The Pokédex says it spends time deep at the bottom of the sea because its powers are too strong. In that case, you better put Magmar down there too, because its mixed attack stats are better. 90 base attack and special attack, it might destroy the world! Lugia couldn't one-shot a Togepi. That all said, it's still iconic, especially in the Gale of Darkness game. Number 25, Zapdos and Moltres. They're pretty much the same to me, design-wise, stat-wise. Two of the three OG legendary birds, the first legendaries you ever encountered if you were born in the proper time period to start Pokemon from the generation where it all began, aka the early 90s, aka the best people humanity has to offer, at least where I'm concerned. You were in the middle of trying to catch one of these and you forgot to save beforehand because you were 5 years old and your mom was like, game time is up, and you were like, no please mom, I'm trying to catch a legendary bird, and half the balls you throw are missing because that was a thing in Red and Blue, and you're like, come on! Being a kid hit different, you know? Number 23, Suicune. The three legendary dogs. Very similar in status and value to the legendary birds, maybe even more so because you have to actually hunt for them and they run away all the time like cowards. Like, come on, I'm 10 years old, what are you afraid of? I'm not a poacher. If there's a group of similarly themed legendaries and one of them is the tanky one, I generally like that one less. I'm impatient. If you're legendary, I want you to deal damage, you know, not just withstand blows. There's one exception, though, and if you paid attention to the last entry, you probably sniffed it out already. Suicune is very cool and has L'Oreal hair. He moisturizes himself. Number 22, Zakrom. Zakrom's tail looking kinda thick. They went ham on Zakrom's design. A jet black dragon with cybernetic-looking wings, arm guards. It looks like a dragon power suit. One of the most imposing figures on the battlefield to date. Hide your kids when Bolt Strike comes out or they're getting disintegrated. Number 21, Groudon and Kyogre. I think Ruby and Sapphire was the first gen to really showcase the gigantic cataclysmic impact legendary Pokemon can have on the world around them. Groudon and Kyogre were titans, and all of Hoenn was their battlefield. Or at least it felt that way, but Groudon's only 11 feet tall. That's like a basketball player and a half. If I jumped really high, I could probably land in its mouth. Still though, they captured that scale and fooled us all. The storyline of Gen 3 was the first storyline where I was like, oh shit, things are going down right now. There's a sense of urgency present. Let's go save the world, boys! I like them equally. The line work on both of their body patterns is very solid. Number 19, Type Null and Silvally. These Pokemon are ranked the same because they're the same Pokemon. One of them just has a macho brace on its face, essentially. Also, did you even know these classified as legendaries? I didn't. When Type Null evolves, aka unmasks itself like a Scooby-Doo villain, it gains some speed and that's it. But it does become much prettier, like a girl who takes her nerdy horn-rimmed glasses off to reveal that she had perfect facial symmetry all along. I think glasses can be sexy myself, but masks sure aren't. Silvally is Arceus minus godhood. Number 17, Zamasunte. Zasian gets all the glory, but Zamasunte is good too. When fighting with a sword and a shield, the sword carries you to victory, but the shield prevents your defeat. It's valuable insulation, but an unsung hero. Zamasunte's a cool enough dog. Number 16, Latios. There's the better one. Latios is just Latios, but cooler. You don't really need to say more about it. Number 15, Zasian. The Glory Hound, Zasian is a Dark Souls boss turned Pokemon that I spent most of my initial playthrough trying to learn what types it was whenever I battled against it. It was like a puzzle, like, okay, fire was super effective, but fighting did neutral damage? Isn't this fighting steel like Zamasunte? What's happening? Turns out it's Steel Fairy, like Klefki, and I was just getting faked out by it using Sacred Sword every turn. Zasian has an absolute monster attack stat, and it's like 2 points off being as fast as Electrode, so you can imagine the pleasure I take in outspeeding and one-shotting everyone. Number 14, Spectrier. I have straight up no idea how you can pick Glastrier over Spectrier. This ghostly steed is a beast, with tremendous speed and special attack, and dismembered hooves that just kind of float there like its ankles got cut off. If either of these horses wanted a rider, they could do better than Calyrex. You might as well be at a rodeo clown show. You don't need him. Strike off on your own. Number 13, Mewtwo, the big boy. Potentially the most iconic legendary Pokemon ever created, actually not potentially, definitely. Made in a lab through gene experimentation, scientists were like, let's make it incredibly powerful, super vicious, and heartless. I'm sure that won't backfire. It's only after seeing a crowd of Pokemon all cry at the same time on a 10-year-old stone corpse that Mewtwo finally realizes there's compassion in the world, and that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It's what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. And so he went on to star in another Pokemon movie where he tried to kill everyone again. Number 12, Lunala. Lunala is like Cresselia, but 50,000 times better. Half bat and half anchor, Lunala floats against the night sky and almost blends in perfectly, with its radiant white gold patterns sparkling brilliantly among the stars. It's known as the Moon Pokemon, but with an E, so it's the Moone Pokemon. I think it's lovely. Number 11, Urshifu. We have to suffer through Cubfu to get here, but it's worth it, specifically if you get the Rapid Strike style, which is my favorite, since Dark Fighting is already such a prevalent type combination among the rabble of regular Pokemon. I'd rather not be ×4 weak to Fairy and bat against my own type, you feel me? Rapid Strike Urshifu is my pick for the next Pokemon Smash character, if there ever is one. Number 10, Reshiram. Reshiram is known as the Vast White Pokemon, which might be why some people don't like it. I like Reshiram more than Zekrom, because it's furry and fire type, and furry fire types would be nice and warm to pet, like Growlithe, Vulpix, Litleo, etc. One thing that does put me off is how Reshiram has tiny little hands poking out of its wings. They look like a deformity. They look like something that didn't get erased by accident. Reshiram is still the only fire dragon type, though, outside of Mega Charizard and Turtonator, now that I just thought about that right now, and it's such an obvious dual typing that I can't believe there aren't more. Number 9, Dialga. Go ahead, learn Power Gem, see if I care. Dialga is a Time Lord and looks hella imposing. It's wicked strong, made of titanium, and can literally roar you into next week. Its blue and silver coloration is sleek as hell, too. Number 8, Rayquaza. I don't care if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I probably pronounced a bunch of them wrong. I grew up reading these names, not hearing them. Talk to my lawyer. Rayquaza only descends from the ozone to shake a waggy, nagging finger at Groudon and Kyogre whenever they act up, as if to say, knock it off or I will crash into both of you like a goddamn meteor. They say it feeds off water and particles in the atmosphere, so maybe that's why it only has one tooth. Number 7, Azelf. Oh, come on, not only is it the cutest one of the trio by far, but it's also the strongest. What's not to love? Mesprit gets all the glory because it's the one in the middle. Every photo shoot they go to, every Christmas card they send out, Mesprit in the middle, Mesprit in the middle. Azelf off to the side like he's not as important. BS. Azelf is the GOAT. When Azelf flew, people gained determination. Azelf flew so Undertale could soar. It was the birth of willpower. Number 6, Articuno. Articuno is not as strong as Zapdos or Moltres from a damage output standpoint, but he's still got both of them beat in the chill department. Articuno is chill AF. Look at how chill he is. Look at those deep blues. His feathers are an ocean of chill-ass vibes, and his cry is angelic, like you're being called towards a chill heaven. Number 5, Entei. Here we go with our top 5. These really are some of the most well-designed doggies in Pokemon. This Pyro Pupper is the epitome of stalwart strength, stability, and bravery as it dashes away from you as fast as it can. But man, if any Pokemon was hero material, this is it. Entei was one of the coolest Pokemon ever as a kid. Number 4, Yveltal. I think Yveltal is super underrated when it comes to how awesome he is. Gen 6 didn't add many legendaries, but it absolutely nailed the box art ones. Yveltal is dark flying, like one of my favorite regular Pokemon of all time, Murkrow, and is a beastly mixed attacker with a lot of HP to boot. It is fierce. It was a horrible finger snap. Number 3, Giratina. What do you call a ghost dragon with 6 legs and shadow wings who lives in a spooky reverse dimension? Sick. I will say that Distortion World in Pokemon Platinum is the single worst part of any Pokemon game I've ever played, and I hope the remakes do something about that. But Giratina is a certified badass, and it got banished there for being too violent like a video game, so it's not its fault. Number 2, Raikou. Give me that Thunder Tiger, please. Thank you. Raikou is basically what I wanted Torracat to turn into a fire version of instead of Incineroar, but maybe that would have made Entei jealous. Not all heroes wear capes, but Raikou's is made of storm clouds, and if you cross him, you will get thunderbolted to within an inch of your life. Raikou is a good boy, best doggy, but don't tell the other doggies or they might burn and drown me. Yes, they will. Yes, they will leave my charred and bloated corpse in the river. Yes, they will. Number 1, Xerneas. Legends say Xerneas can share eternal life. I'll take it. If Xerneas can let me live forever, it's my number 1. But it's my number 1 anyway, because it's so flippin' majestic. This is one deer that won't just stare at your car in the middle of the road instead of getting out of the way. This is the deer you see out the window in your foresty backyard and go, OMG, look, everyone drop what you're doing and look at this incredibly colorful deer. If I saw a hunter shoot this deer, I would go over to him and drain all the blood from his stupid hunter body, saw his head off, and then pose with him for Instagram to see how many likes I get. Xerneas is a treasure, a delight, and my favorite legendary in Pokemon. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. I've got other Pokemon rankings both out and that I'm working on, as well as a ton of other videos, so check me out. Follow me on Twitter at SunburnedAlbino, and I'll see you guys next time.